What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Child, let's get into this. Let me say hi to my people, and then we are about to get this party started. Hey, Lemon Kush, what's up, Mr. Willie Brown? Hey, boo. Hey, Janae, what's up, Tan? Candace, what's up? The head Ursha is in here. YouTube be playing with the membership link. Hold on, I'll get it for you. Give me a second. Hey, Quintessential, what's up? Vunny Vibes. Hey, good to see you back. Mystic Rain. Hey, Diva. Layla, what's going on? Diva, can you get the membership link? Do you find the membership link? If not, I'll get it for Candace for my head Ursha. YouTube will listen. I tell y'all this all the time. YouTube will unsubscribe you, and YouTube will deactivate your memberships. It's done it to me before, and it has unsubscribed me from people that I'm like, I know I'm subscribed to this person, and I know that I watch their videos. Why am I no longer subscribed? Y'all, YouTube be playing. What's up, Paul? Hey, Corey. We're getting ready to get into this episode, child, because honestly, it wasn't a whole lot new here, which I think we needed this. And I'm being real. I've been enjoying the Xscape roller coaster. I ain't gonna front, but I think we needed a week chill. I really do, because this thing's been a roller coaster since it started. You have it on your American Express, and it still did it. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Hey, Kevin, what's going on? Give me I will get it for you. If Diva can't find it, I'll get it for you. It's in my description box though. Hold on. It's in the description box for the video. I'll get it. Yeah, here it is right here. Let me drop it in the chat real quick. So let's get into this episode. Belle said she was going to join me. I sent her the link, so if she comes in, I'll just drop her in. If not, we're going to keep it moving. She'll be coming through. May or may not be coming through. So let's get into it. So this is episode 4. Are we on episode 4? We know it's only 6 episodes, so we only have 2 more weeks, I think. And then that's going to take us probably into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I think starts next month. I think it starts late April, early May. So, yeah. All right. So we start this episode off. We see Coco and Taj. We see them working out. Now, listen. Taj said, listen, me and Coco are in a much better space than we used to be. She said back in the day, Coco was a diva. And, if Coco got mad at me and she decided that she wasn't speaking to me, she would tell people to stop speaking to me, and everybody would stop speaking to me because everybody, was loved Coco and I was expendable, And she said, but we're older now, and when we have issues or we have concerns or problems, we know how to communicate with each other. Like, we know how to have the conversation. And I also think that it's okay, Diva. It was in the description box. I dropped it in the link. It's cool. It's cool. Thank you, babe. Thank you anyway. But I feel like I can appreciate that. Because I do think that with age, and people get older, people do learn how to communicate. And I also think people aren't the people they used to be. I think Coco definitely had an ego. They said that. They said Coco's ego was the 4th member of the group. And I think that Coco was humbled when she had to go out into that world, that music industry by herself. I think she was humbled. And I do, even though I know when they got back together, I know they had their issues. They had the whole reality show, and Coco was still tripping a little bit or whatever. Some things are just who people are. But I think to the extreme that she was willing to sell out the group, and then to the extreme that she disregarded them and disregarded their feelings, I think that's different. Does Coco still have an ego? Of course she does. And listen, most talented people do. And the ego isn't the issue. It is the level. It is what you do with that ego, right? It is that level to which you will sacrifice your friends and sacrifice the people around you for that ego. And I think Coco had been so convinced that she didn't need them, that they were her stepping stone. And when she got out there in that big bad world and things just ain't go right. Oh, you know what? Let me share this out. Because, you know, the notification, y'all know how the notifications be going, child. Let me share it out. So, but it was good to see them. And then, of course, you know, they talked about, child, I wasn't Instagram instead of YouTube, child. Then they talked about the conversation that they had and how left everything went. Which I think we all agree. You know, we've been talking about that all week. It's been a source of debate all week long about that. And I don't think anybody would disagree that the way that went down was kind of messed up, right? I'm sorry, y'all. I was sharing out the video. Okay. Coco getting on medication to address her mental issue has to make it. I think that's made, and you know what, Kevin, thank you. I think that's made a big difference as well. And I also think not just her getting on the meds, but I think her identifying the issue, because that's the other thing too. Identifying that you have a mental issue, or that it is mental illness and not just your ego, or not just you. What's up, Retro? I think that makes a difference too, because I think a lot of times we put mental illness in a bubble, like that means that something's wrong with you, or you're crazy or something like that. And mental illness, so I think you're right, Kevin. Thank you. You're right. That had a lot to do with it too. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. I was trying to shout the video. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, big bro? I thought I was the refrigerator magnet, the pictures queen. Oh, you see my refrigerator in the back? Hold on, let me turn by. Yes, child. Me and my refrigerator, yes. Hold on. I don't know why all of a sudden y'all can see it so clearly. Y'all know we can't see that much of my refrigerator. I don't know how I got my situation set up over here that y'all can see so much of my refrigerator. Oh, well. Maybe the computer. Do I have the computer moved over more than... I don't know. Y'all can just see my refrigerator, child. Anyway. Her mental illness probably played a big part in their issues back in the day. It probably did. And again, because she did not know it. Thank you, Nico. Thank you so much. And because she didn't know it to identify it, you know what I'm saying? And I do think a lot of things were written, especially when she said that she dealt with manic. She was bipolar. So that means she had high highs and low lows. Right? So that also probably played into them and their relationship. And they were young. So, okay, you're right. So that was a good conversation that we had there. Then we saw Lily talking to their manager. And again, she's talking to the manager about the erotica. Yeah, Kenneth. So they were talking about her erotica novel. And listen, I'm here for it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Y'all may not remember. How many of y'all remember Zane back in the day? She might still write books. I don't know. I haven't read a book by Zane in years. She may still be writing books. But do y'all remember Zane? Y'all remember Zane? Zane, for a minute, was hot with her erotica books. And I have read I guess I've read all of them, but I've read most of them. And it's good books. I mean, it is what it is, you know. And so it's definitely lucrative. It's definitely money there. Yeah, see people in the chat. Yeah, I know. I actually know her mom. Her mom is a teacher in DC, and we're part of the sorority together. And I know her mom, and so she used to do a lot of stuff with us. We were doing fundraising and stuff like that. She would do book signings and stuff like that. And you know, she's from Baltimore, so she's from this area. So I've met her a few times. And what's funny about Zane, if you saw her walking down the street, she looked like a damn librarian. Like she looks like a little old, like, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't look this, you know, sexy, walking around in lingerie, makeup, and you know what I mean? She's not. She's very everyday. She's very, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think we think of people who, oh, you write erotica, so you must be this type of person. No. No. Okay. And she's really a nice person in real life, too. I remember the Zane Chronicles. Yeah, didn't she have like a website where she would write like short stories on there or something at one time? Yeah, I remember, child. Like I said, I ain't gonna say I read all of them because I stopped reading them after a while. But I know at one point in time, every time she put out a new book, we were on it. We were on it. And so she said that she wants to have other sources of income outside of SWV because Taj gave us a little bit more of her story as well. Oh, that's later on. But I'll just go ahead because I'm probably forget when I get there, child. But she gave us a little bit more of her story as well. She talked about when the group ended and how, she had dropped out of college and she didn't have anything to fall back on. And she said she took a job answering phones at a coffee company making like $9 an hour. And so, Lily went through it really bad. And I think people assumed that Taj was good because she was, she dated an NFL, a Hall of Fame NFL player and ended up marrying him. So I think everybody just figured that Taj's path was perfect or great. But she let us know she struggled too when the Zane had to do it. She did, Amir. I remember that now. I lost track over the years. I just stopped reading. You just move on. I just stopped reading. So that's why I said I don't know what she's done. Zane was open and free with her books. I remember when she was on Oprah, Amazon has her books. I have a few on my Audible. Like, oh, I don't know if I can listen to them. Girl. Yeah, I don't know if I can listen to them. The most erotica writers, they real plain Jane, like those writer of the 50 Shades of Grey book. Yeah, true. Yeah. And it might be TMI, but I enjoy reading erotica. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And I would definitely buy her, child. I would definitely be interested in what Miss Lily talking about. So, it's always good to have multiple streams of income. And I think that what I can appreciate is that we have got to get away from feeling like people who are in the industry are just everybody's a millionaire and nobody needs money. You know what I'm saying? I think we've got to get away from that mentality. Bring back Zane TV shows. I don't know if I ever watched it because I didn't have Showtime back in the day. So I'm wondering if I ever even watched. I'm gonna have to go back on the Showtime. Do I have Showtime now? I don't think I have Showtime now because I had it. Something used to come on Showtime. And then I canceled it. When that show went off the air, I canceled it. I don't remember what it was, but it was years ago. Like it was years ago that I had Showtime. Was it? It wasn't Nurse Jackie because that was a long time ago. But I used to like Nurse Jackie. What else used to come on Showtime? Anyway, neither here. So y'all can get me sidetracked. Let me get into this thing. Soul Food. Okay, that was years ago too. Maybe it was Soul. It wasn't Soul Food. It was something after Soul Food. But either way, it was still a long ass time ago. But I didn't used to have. When she had her show on Showtime, I didn't have Showtime. Now that I do know. I know I never saw her show. I never saw. I might have to get Showtime just to see if it's in the archives. See if it's like online now. They probably got it online. No, it wasn't The Tutor's Child. No, it wasn't Dexter. I don't watch none of those shows. Well, what was the show with The Rock in it and Denzel Washington's son? Was that HBO or Showtime? About the NFL, when they were like NFL players. That was when we first were sort of introduced to Denzel Washington's son. Was that Showtime? It's not in the archives. Ballers. Was that HBO or was that Showtime? Because I used to watch Ballers. Y'all got me sidetracked. Let's get back to this thing. So then we see, and Lily and the manager weren't happy either about the meeting. They kind of talked about, that was on HBO. Okay, but never mind, child. Never mind. All right. So then we see Tamika and Taj meeting, and they're working on set design. They're working on ideas. They're working on costuming. They're moving forward as if this is going to happen. They're moving forward as if they're going to figure out a way to make this work. And I was okay with that. I was here for it, and I could appreciate that, right? So have a group meeting. This review probably ain't gonna take that long because Then we have we had a group meeting, where everybody comes to the meeting. Everybody shows up. Actually, Latasha was actually the second one there. Child, they were at Tasha's condo, so they were meeting. And what's up, Dr. Sophie? Hey, boo. So they start talking about all these different plans they have, these different set designs. And Coco was like, hold up. Before we go any further, have we figured out, is this a co-headlining situation? Because if it's not a co-headlining situation, all the rest of this is a mute point. There's no need for us to go any further if we ain't figured out if this is going to be a co-headlining situation. Now, let me say something. Whose review was I looking at? Because I don't think I said it, but I was looking at somebody's review last week. It might have been Funky Dineva. I don't remember whose review it was, but they said Candy was speaking for the group. It made it look like Candy was the only one worried about them getting top billing. But somebody's review I was looking at said that Candy was speaking for the group, and she just they left her out there kind of by herself, and it made it look like it was just Candy, right? And Candy said it today. She said, look, Tasha talking about something, well, we're going to go along with the co-head. No, Candy said, well, it's a group decision. And Tasha talking about something, we'll just go along with it. We'll just go ahead and go. It was, I didn't even thank you, Candace. We'll just go ahead and go along with it. We'll just go ahead. And Candy was like, when we had a conversation as a group, the group decided that we were going to be headliners. Now, Tasha then came in here and just decided that we just going to move along and we just going to, that's what we going to do. And ain't nobody saying nothing. Tiny, Tamika, ain't nobody saying nothing to contradict it. So y'all not going to have me out here looking like I'm just, the money hungry, grubbing ass, you know what. Nah, okay, fine. We co-headliner, fine. We going to co-headline. And I was like, see, I said, they done had Candy out there looking crazy. They done had her out there on a limb. She is an agent of chaos, right? So then they get to talking about design and stuff. So Tamika comes in with all of these great ideas. Now, first of all, Tamika already said, look, me and Taj, and they brought in the creative director. She said, these are just ideas. Y'all don't have to go along with them. Y'all don't have to like them. These are just, I'm just throwing stuff around. Like when they start talking about bringing the animals on stage, Lily was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Like, ain't nobody riding no horse. She said, last time I rode a horse was in the Right Here video, and ain't nobody riding no horse, okay? But I feel like the conversation was had to just get the ball rolling and to move forward. Zane was on Cinemax. Oh, I never had Cinemax. I don't know if I ever paid for Cinemax. Ever. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I don't know if I ever paid for Cinemax, child. So I know I never seen the episode. If it was on Cinemax, does Cinemax still exist? I'm not being funny. Does it still exist? I don't even hear about Cinemax anymore. I don't even know if it still exists. But if it's online, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna go find it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Everything will. Maybe not YouTube. I don't know. Lily said she ended up with a pony, right? And they showed the video. She is on the damn pony. When they showed the clip, she is on the pony. Mama said, can y'all please hit the like button when y'all come in, please, and thank you. You have Cinemax on Prime. Oh, I have Prime. Okay, y'all gave me homework. I'm gonna have to check and see if I can find the Zane. What's the Chronicles? What was it called? I'm gonna find it. So, but at the end of the day, this was the conversation. Baby, Tasha was hot. Tasha was heated. Tasha said, I mean, normally I do the set design. Normally I work with the creative director. So, I mean, you came in here and you just pushing me out. I mean, that's fine because you pushed me out of our sisterhood, and that's fine that you just want to do these things without me. Now, here, okay. I got a couple of things I want to say right here. The first thing I want to say is, here's where communication is there a breakdown. Let's assume for a minute that Tasha ain't tripping. let's just assume for a minute she's not tripping. If you feel like this is something that you normally do, and you feel some kind of way about your sister taking it upon herself to do it without you, no, you don't do it in front of SWV, but that's a conversation that you end up having. The second part of that is, I understand where Tamika is coming from. Tamika said, listen, for a long time, I was pushed to the back, and now I want to be a part of the creative process. I want to have a say. I want to put my 2 cents in, and so I'm being assertive. She doesn't see it as her doing something to push her sister out. She sees it as a way to be inclusive and to have her voice heard. Now, you said the same thing prior up in the chat. You did? Oh, I didn't see it, boo. But let me say this. Cinemax is HBO Max now. Oh, well, I have HBO Max. Okay, I'm going to look for it. Y'all gave me some homework. I'm going to look for it. But let me say this to y'all. Hey, Billy. Now, let me say this to y'all. If y'all go back and y'all listen to the end of this, at the end of this episode, when they were rehearsing, which we'll get to that in a minute, Candy said, and I believe Tamika said it as well, she's not responding to texts. She's not in the group chat having conversations with them. She's not communicating with them at all. How can you sit there and play victim like your sister usurped your authority, like your sister pushed you out, like your sister was trying to bypass you if you are not actively involving yourself in what's going on with the group? I can't say for certain. I cannot say for certain that she reached out to her sister to have a conversation with her sister. I can't say that. But what I can say is, if she had, you wouldn't know, because you're not talking to them. You're not communicating with them. And everybody ain't lying on you, Tasha. I'm sorry, girl. Everybody ain't lying on you. We see it. Like, if y'all, listen, and I'm not saying you can't like Tasha by all stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that. But if y'all can't see after this episode and y'all can't understand why Xscape moving the way they moving, you ain't paying attention. So you sitting there with an attitude, you mad, you in your feelings because you feel like your sister done went behind your back or went around you to put this stuff together, but you ain't even talking to them. So then we see Coco and her son Jalen meeting up with Tasha and Candy. And again, here's another stank moment. Now, before Tasha got there, Candy and Coco were laughing and talking and empowering each other, and they were going through things. Tasha shows up, and immediately the tension. I can feel the tension through the screen. So Coco says, well, what song do y'all normally start off with? And Candy said, well, you know, we sort of switch it around, but we always start with a strong song. We end with a strong song. And so they were going through their song list. And so Candy says, well, here's a song that I know you don't like performing, but our fans like it. It's Run to the Arms. I don't know why Tasha don't like the song. I don't care. Maybe because she ain't singing lead. Who cares? But Candy says to you, well, do you want to do the song? I don't know. So then there was another song that Candy asked her about. Do you want to, have you thought about we're going to perform that song? I haven't thought about that. I just haven't thought about that. So Coco says, well, why haven't you? Like, you know what we're trying to do here. Why haven't you thought of it? And she going to say, because I've had stuff to do. Oh, Tasha singing the lead. See, I don't keep up with who's singing what lead. So I don't know why she doesn't like. And again, artists don't like songs for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? There's some artists, they hate singing certain songs that might be a fan favorite. And you either adjust to it or you don't sing it and let the fans just, oh well, the fans just, oh well. But I'm sitting here like, that makes absolutely no sense to me. How are you going to sit here and you haven't thought about it? You don't know. You don't have an answer for nobody. I'm just like, you are making this too easy. Like, if you want to try to make Candy the villain, you're not doing a good job of making people be mad at Candy. You're not doing a good job of turning the tide against Candy. And maybe that's not your goal. Maybe you ain't trying to turn the tide. But if you are not doing a good job of it. Because the more and more you show up, the less and less you let us be, that you seem likable. SWV hated week. They probably just sick of singing it. But yeah, I think I remember reading that. I said, so of course, and then Coco was like, it was uncomfortable for her. She said, I'm sitting there and you can cut the tension with a knife and it was uncomfortable. And I understand it would be uncomfortable for me. If I was sitting in that room, I would be uncomfortable. But Tasha has done that, and every single scene she has been in, Tasha has made everybody uncomfortable. Everybody. So then we see Candy talking to Don Juan, and basically it's the same conversation. Tasha tripping, she acting up. Don Juan is like, why is she tripping? Then she said, she told Don Juan that she found out about the solo deal. Why Don Juan so damn shady? Oh, he's so shady. Don Juan said, he said, who gonna buy that? He didn't say that. He didn't say that. But that was basically his attitude. He didn't say who gonna buy it, but his attitude was basically who gonna buy that. Basically, he was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And Candy said, well, she got a solo deal. I mean, a gospel deal. He was like, them gospel people ain't gonna buy that. Here go Candy. That is not my issue. Candy was like, I don't care who buying it. I don't care who not buying it. That's not my problem, my concern. I don't care nothing about it. But that's what's going on. That's why she acting funky. Because she got this deal and she think she don't need us again. She doing the same, and again, a lot of this stuff we've already heard because they've been defending themselves over the last couple of weeks and they've been saying so much in the public that we've heard Candy say this. We've heard Candy talk about it's history repeating itself. This is what she did the first time around. So a lot of this, and that's why I said we kind of needed this episode to kind of bring everything down because a lot of what we heard, we kind of already knew. You know what I'm saying? What's up with Don Juan headline? The same thing that's up with a man over 40 headline, child. It's going in the opposite direction. The thing is that Tasha thinks her solo gospel project is going to blow up because Xscape is popping right now. She does. She did, Pam. She used the reality show to put her name back out there and to get this TV deal. First of all, Pam, can I ask you a question? Because I don't want to sound stupid because I ain't never seen a record contract. And I know you do a lot of contracts and stuff, especially like I know you do celebrity contracts and stuff too. Have you ever seen a record contract that's one page? Double space? 15-point font. Did y'all see that we'll get there. But did y'all see that contract she was signing? Have y'all ever seen? Pam, I need you to tell me. Is that normal? Is that a regular recording contract these days? One page? Double space? 15-point fonts? Okay. I just want to know. Because I saw that contract, I said, now I know that ain't the real contract. They just put a prop down there. That cannot be. Do you know? Listen, I had a cramp in my hand by the time I got done buying my house. I had to sign so many pieces of paper. I cannot imagine a contract for a record deal. She's talking about I'm going to own my own publishing. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I saw it, Lauren. I saw it. It didn't even have it ain't had nothing. Child, we're gonna get there. basically that meeting with Don Juan was for Candy to tell Don Juan Tasha tripping and about the deal or whatever. I think they talked a little bit about the concert and the co-headliner thing, child. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. It was promise no. Promissory, right. Like, so we see Dago, Tamika, and Taj meeting down to the spot to work on the show, work on the floor show. And child, they done ran that thing up to about 300,000. No, I think by the time they got done, they was probably at $2-3 million show. Child, ain't nobody doing all that. 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 It was cute. It was cute to see them go through and for us to see how much stuff costs when we looking at a concert. But child, ain't nobody doing all that. And then when she got to the horses, he was like, "We're not bringing a horse. Like, nobody's bringing a horse." My college essay, hell, my students' essays in high school got more pages than that. Maybe it was a deal memo, which just confirms the deal because those contracts are long. I thought so. Natasha needs to give it a rest. She had her solo on Traces of My Lipstick. She sung lead on all the tracks. She did a majority of all the verses. That was her solo. Nobody ain't want her gospel. Okay. Nobody want her gospel album. And that's no disrespect, but listen. And don't take Grown and Gospel as an example. Now, y'all know about the Grown and Gospel show. I'm reviewing it in AMS. But y'all know, and I mean, Don Juan said it. He said gospel is like country. Like, it is very much a club, and they very much decide who gets in and who doesn't get in. Now, there's a couple of side doors these days, but it's still a very close-knit community. Go and listen. Girl, if you don't go ask Coco, didn't Coco try to do the gospel thing? You better go and ask Coco. Sure. Coco and Taj go shopping. Listen, Candy gonna get product placement if don't nobody else get none. They are trying their best to get Tamika product placement in this show. Did y'all see when Tiny was cooking that shrimp and she said it ain't got no seasoning on it, and she was seasoning the shrimp? Child, that was some of Tamika's seasoning. They are trying to get Tamika some product placement. I'm gonna buy some of that seasoning just to support her. I'm buy some of Tasha's seasoning. I mean Tamika's seasoning. But if Candy ain't gonna get no product placement, they went down to press. Now they know that SWV know they don't be shopping down to no damn press, child. But they was down to Candy's store. They was down to the press to do some shopping. They had Jalen buying them some outfits. And once again, they were talking to Jalen about not going back to school. Who about her gospel project with that negative? And that's the other thing too. Thank you, Kevin. That's the other thing too. You really hurt your brand by acting. I ain't gonna say by doing the show, because I think this show could have been a great introduction into your solo project, but you handled it wrong. Let me tell y'all. Come back to that. Kevin, y'all remind me to come back to that. That's Rashida's store. No, that's Candy's store. Rashida's store is Candy's store is press. Rashida's store is maybe it is press. What's Candy's store called? Tags. You right. Rashida's store is press. Candy's store is tags. You right. My bad. I'm wrong. You right, Monique. You right. But that's still her bet. That's still one of her friends' child. Candy just getting everybody to hook up. That's all, you know. But you're right. Candy store is called tags. That's it. You right. Y'all are right. I'm wrong. Y'all right. I'm wrong. Y'all are right. So please don't nobody write that in the comments. I just said I was wrong. Y'all know somebody gonna put it in the comments, right? I just said I was wrong. Yeah, Preston's Rashida and tags is Candy. Y'all are right. Okay. And then what was Nini's store called before it closed? What was Nini's store? Nini's store has anyway. They all sold the same shit. We're moving on. Basically, Jalen was letting us know again about him going to school. We found out that he does deal with depression, and that he's been, in therapy or whatever. And he said that he was having a lot of problems with his mental health, and he just wasn't happy in school. Now, from my understanding, he's gone back to school. I think Taj said that in the live she did last week, that she's glad he went back to school. So I feel like he probably just set out like a semester and then he went back, because they filmed this last summer. So if he's back in school, he only sat out a semester. But she said he's back in school now. But I can understand where she's coming from. Like, I can definitely understand what she's saying when she says, listen, you know, she said, that's when she told the story about her dropping out of college to be at SWV. And then when the group broke up, she really didn't have anything to fall back on. And if I understand correctly, when she was live, I believe she went back to college and got her degree. After the group broke up, I believe she did finish college. Because I think she said something to Todd. She was talking to Lily, and she said something about 9 years later. So she did eventually go back and get her degree. But she was just and swag. Thank you, Candace. That was Nene's store with swag. And I agree with what she was saying. She was like, listen, your talent isn't going anywhere. Finish school so you have something to fall back on, and you can always do the music thing. Like the talent ain't going with the music. But the talent ain't going nowhere. That's what she said. The talent's not going anywhere. And I see both sides of the coin. Like I do. I see the side of the coin that says finish the degree, have something to fall back on. But I think in this world that we live in today, there's so many ways that he can still make money, you know, without necessarily having his college degree. Now, I know they want him to go back and become a dentist. That's a whole nother level because he's only 19, so he can't be in nothing but undergrad. So you want him to finish undergrad and then go to medical school and then decide to sing if he wants to? I mean, I have one of my former students just graduated from dental school. She just finished her degree last year, and she didn't take. I think she took like 1 year off, maybe. And you know, it's a whole situation. It's a lot. Shut up, Jonathan. Ain't nobody talking about Nene. We talking about the different stores. Anyway. But again, it was a good conversation. Again, it was a light episode. It was a good conversation. So then we have the end of this episode, we see the contrast between but still really be finished school. Again, I'm not saying don't finish school. I'm just saying his options, he has more options than they had. That's all I'm saying. He has more options. If the music thing doesn't work out for him to be successful and still be able to make money, than they did back in the 90s without a college degree. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling him not to finish school, child, finish school. But I'm just saying, finish school and then go to medical school and then try to be a singer. I think it's a lot. But I also think he can do both. I mean, people do it all the time. Like, I feel like he could put together, songs, singles, and upload them to SoundCloud and travel and tour. And, like, I feel like he can do both. I mean, it might take him a little bit longer, but I feel like he can do both. You know, not D. Jackson State University. I wonder where Kenneth went to school. So this last scene I thought was very powerful. I love the way they spliced it together. I love the way they edited it, because this may not have happened at the exact same time, but I think it gave. You want to Tuskegee, Kevin? Okay, Tuskegee. But I think it gave a great contrast to what they were dealing with. So while Xscape was practicing, because they had a show, Candy said they had a spot show, so it wasn't a tour. It was just like one of them, you know, one and done. Go, you do your set, you roll out. She said, but it had been a while since they toured, and they needed to practice. They needed to get their practice in. As Retro would say, the Tasha was a no call, no show. Because not only did she not show up, she didn't tell them she wasn't showing up. She didn't tell them she wasn't coming. The road manager, and you know what I found real effed up? Is this the same road manager that left Tamika and Candy out there without any way to get into their damn trailer when they out in Vegas? Remember how this whole thing started when they said that the road manager left with Tasha, and Tamika said that the road manager is now Latasha's assistant. Is that the same lady? Because that lady sat there, the way it was shown, that lady sat there and let them rehearse. And they were like, is she coming? We don't know she coming. Have you talked to her? No. Have you talked to her? I ain't talked to her. You talked to her? They finally asked the road manager. I don't even remember the lady's name. They finally asked the road manager, and she looked like a deer stuck in the head. Like, did y'all see her face? She was like, no. So you sat there all that time and let them rehearse and practice and ask each other. They all asked each other, have you talked to her? Have you talked to her? Is she coming? Do you know she's coming? Do you know she's coming? And your ass was sitting over there the whole time and knew her ass wasn't coming. And then they said, well, is she coming to sound check? They said, well, is she going to do the show? And the lady says, yeah, but can y'all do her, can y'all check her mic for her? So she's not coming to sound check. So not only did you know she wasn't coming to rehearsal today, you knew she had no intention of showing up for sound check. And you didn't feel, because again, you're not her road manager. You're the group road manager. But clearly, we know where your loyalty lies. Because there's no reason in the world why we weren't supposed to have that information prior to today. We were supposed to know before we walked in here that she was coming. And if y'all remember, if we go back into our time machine and we go back to when all this stuff first came out around the Soul Train Music Awards back in, what was that, June? Remember, Candy said that. Candy said she's not touring with us anymore, and we haven't talked to her. We don't know what's going on. Remember, she said that. And then that's when Tasha came out and said because the promoter had threatened her husband and she didn't feel comfortable. But again, even if that's true, which at this point, child, what are we to believe? But even if that's true, it's a conversation. And from that scene, none of them had any idea. Your sister didn't know. Tiny, who you claim is the only person you're really cool with, Tiny didn't know. We know Candy ain't no child. And then the damn road manager sitting there and ain't said nothing. Now, in the same moment, we go over to Tasha's house. Now, again, like I said, this may not have happened at the exact same time, but the way they filmed it, the way they showed it to us, it looked like while they were sitting there rehearsing, trying to figure out if she was coming to rehearsal, she back at her house signing her one-page recording contract. Now, I'm going to go on and I'm going to go along with what Pam said and say that maybe, Pam didn't say it was. I'm saying maybe it was a memo of understanding. Okay. Maybe that's what it was. Okay. It was a memo of understanding. And she's talking about some, and I get to own my own masters. For what? For that album that's about to go wood. Okay. Well, that's what they do now. They tour without her. They've been touring without her since last summer. I don't think Tasha has performed with them since the Soul Train Awards. And I don't know that to be a fact, but I'm almost certain. Like, I'm about 90 to 95% certain that Tasha has not performed with them since the Soul Train Awards. And that was in June. Now, I don't know that to be a fact, but I'm almost certain. On Your Own Masters, might be a distribution deal. Ciao. Her single drops this weekend. It drops the 4th, I think, which is next week, because Saturday is April the 1st. It dropped the week of Easter. I guess she's trying to pick up on that holy week vibe. I wonder if there's going to be problems if the day comes where they look to buy the name Xscape. Let me say this. I don't know this to be certain because I don't know these people in real life, so I can't say this to be certain. But because Candy handles her business, I feel like that's already been taken care of. I feel like the Xscape situation has already been handled. The name. Now, I don't know that to be a fact. I don't know that to be a fact. But I feel like that whoever owns it, it's very clear and it's already resolved. Because, see, that's why when they did that album without Candy, they rebranded themselves as Xscape 3, remember? So, I don't know. That's a good question, though. That's a good question. Not it's gonna go dust. It's gonna go double aluminum. Y'all so stupid. First of all, Tasha needs to dress better to be a gospel artist. You can't keep wearing panties with see-through skirt. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all remember that hard time they gave Erica Campbell when she started her wig line and she was wearing like the pink wigs and the red wigs and the blue wigs? Child, you would think that she tried to put a wig on Mother Mary the way they gave Erica Campbell a hard time about wearing a popcorn pink wig. Y'all remember that? I mean, a cotton candy pink wig. Y'all remember that? When she started her wig, I don't even know if she still do her wigs anymore. I think she said, screw y'all. But she came out with her wig line, and they dogged, the gospel people dogged her out. So they can use the name with Candy, but Xscape 3 without her. Candy and Tiny probably own it. I don't know who owns it. That's a good question. Jermaine Dupri probably owns the name. If you really want to know the truth of the matter, let's go back to the beginning. Now, Tasha says she came up with the name, and Candy doesn't dispute that. Candy says that Tasha did come up with the name, but just because Tasha came up with the name don't mean Tasha owned the name. We talked about that the other day with New Edition. Johnny Gill and Ralph Tresvant owned and I don't know if they still do or not because they worked out the legal issue. But at one point in time, Johnny Gill and Ralph Tresvant owned the name New Edition. And Johnny Gill wasn't even an original member. So just because it doesn't matter who owns it, don't matter who came up with the name, it matters who owns it. But like I said, Jermaine Dupri probably owned the damn name. If I put my money on it. But I think whatever legal issues are surrounding the name, if I know Candy the way I know Candy, Candy has handled it. Candy has handled it. Right, look at the Isley brothers. They still fighting over it. Even when Erica wore that white fitted dress, that shirt. Yeah, on her the album cover. What was the name of that single when she wore that fitted dress? And I thought she looked good. Slim and Mike of 112 own the name. That's why the Ron and Q are no longer a part of them. Ooh. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So that's a good question, though, y'all. I really never thought about it. That's actually a good question. So we see Tasha having this whole conversation with Rocky, and they're trying to make a whole moment out of her signing her contract and all of that good stuff. And like I said, they got that one sheet of paper on the damn table. Child, they don't even have nothing under the paper, just no cushion for it. Just a piece of paper on the damn table. Like I said, maybe that's just, but you supposedly have, you own your, I think that's what it is, Pam. I think it's just a distribution deal. But listen, if you like it, I love it. If it was worth, listen, if the role you took, Tasha, was worth it to you, for you to get where you were, get where you got, if this was worth it for you, and you, listen, if you like it, I love it, girl. Now let's say this. Let me say this before we get out of here tonight. Please hit the like button. You guys, I know it's a lot of other people doing this, so I thank y'all for being here with me. But please hit the like button if you don't mind. Somebody said they should tour without Tasha. They do. Tamika sings her sister's parts, and for what I've understood, Tamika be holding it down. I heard that Tamika does a really good job of singing her sister's parts. That's what I heard. Now let me say this. Even with their past history, and remember, the main beef was between Candy and Tasha. Even with their past history, I believe if Tasha had handled this the correct way, I honestly feel like the group would have supported her. They would have allowed her to use this show as a vehicle to showcase her project, to springboard the project, to do exactly what she's doing without dogging them out and throwing them under the bus. I believe that. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that. Because all the rest of them do their own thing as well. We know Candy got 500 businesses. We know Tiny got her own thing going on with her family. And I think she's back managing Zanique. Zanique dropped a single this week, all of that. we know that Tamika, she got her cookbook and her seasonings and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they would have tried to stop her from doing this. If she had met with them before they signed the contracts and said, look, y'all, can y'all, for the one time, I'm working on a solo deal and I really, really, really wanted to work. I wanted to be successful. Listen, can we talk about it on the show? Can we highlight it on the show? Can I use the show as a way to springboard it? I want to set up my marketing so that when we're promoting the show, I could be promoting my album and I could drop this, like exactly what she's doing. But if she had sat down and had a conversation with them about it, y'all, I don't believe, not even Candy, I don't think they would have had a problem with it. I really don't. I honestly don't. Now, again, you never know what somebody would do until they're in that situation. But I don't think they would have begrudged her that. I don't think SWV would have had an issue with it. I just don't. Right, Tiny has been promoting. Look, I told y'all earlier, Tiny been promoting the hell out of Tamika's cookbook. She was using the seasoning. She done made drinks out of the cookbook. She's been trying to, like, I really feel like they would support each other. Candy filmed, every time Candy filmed a scene, she had Blaze. She don't even be filming that old lady gang, child. She be at Blaze. She be at the Candy Factory. She playing singles. All of them have used this show to support what they have going on. Coco's using this show to do what? Springboard her son. Coco ain't slick, and I ain't mad at her. Coco is using this show to help her son out, and I ain't mad at her. I honestly believe they would have supported her, but you. And I'm gonna tell you the sad thing, y'all. And I said this, and I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna get out of here. I said this with my first review. I said this the first week. Tasha needs to figure out why she moved from one controlling, mentally abusive relationship to another one. Because listen, I know that my interaction with Mama G is limited. I know I have only seen the 2 scenes that they've shown us, and I don't know that woman from a hole in the wall. But based on what I've seen, I feel like she manipulated Tasha. She was controlling of Tasha. We know Tasha has had low self-esteem for a lot of her life, dealing with her weight. And she went from that relationship with her mother to this relationship with Rocky. And I think that's what she's got to figure out. Because let me tell you what I don't think. I don't think Tasha is happy. Even with her, even tonight when she was in her confessional talking about how happy she was about getting her solo deal, and this is what she's wanted her whole life, and how exciting she is, and how this has just been what she's been trying to do her whole life. It didn't make it to her eyes. If y'all know what I'm saying. The words were coming out, but she wasn't happy. Her affect wasn't happy. She wasn't showing us happy. Did y'all feel like she was happy? Did y'all feel that? She's finally signing the contract. She's finally getting what she's claimed she's wanted. I don't feel like she was happy. And you're not happy because that didn't make you happy, because this whole time you've been chasing that, thinking that's what you really wanted and thinking that's what was going to make you happy. But baby, you're not happy here. You done lost the weight. You done lightened your skin. You done whatever it is that you needed to do to make yourself feel better about your physical aesthetics. And it ain't nothing wrong with that, because I done already told y'all give me enough money. I'm nipping and tucking too. So I ain't mad about that. But what you have to already have is that love before you do all of that. You got to already have that self-love. You got to already feel some kind of way. I'm just saying, y'all. That's how I feel about it. Now I'm about to hop off of here so I can get. I told y'all I'm trying to be in bed by 11 o'clock. Okay. Now last week I did good. I did good Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday was no bueno. I was not in bed by 11 o'clock Wednesday. And Thursday, we're not even going to talk about Thursday. Child, I don't think I went to bed Thursday till damn near 1 o'clock in the morning. We ain't going to talk about Thursday, okay? So I'm trying to be in bed by 11, trying to get back. You know, I got a 4-day week. My spring break starts on Friday. When I leave work Thursday, baby, it's on and popping, okay? So, okay, maybe 12 for me. I'm trying. What is the profit of man? A woman, What is the profit of woman to gain the world and lose her soul? Ain't nobody anointing that. You better say it again, Xavier. Mama G was horrible. How she definitely would have my number, mom or not. She's a massive gaslighter. She acted like that in the past. I see why to me because dad left. We talked about the interview with the dad. Y'all can go back to my video from Friday. We talked all about that one. Tasha was wrong to wait until the group was back together. Remember the first show Candy content because she felt this was going to happen. She absolutely said it. She sure did. Tasha was wrong. Okay. I'm just trying to get a couple of these comments before I get out of here, y'all. Candy felt Tasha was going to use them for the solo project. She sure did. I've tried going to bed by 8. Now I don't know about 8 o'clock now. 8 o'clock, that's a bit much now. I ain't glad to do that. Tasha is a conundrum. She still has low self-esteem from being a big girl, but she also arrogant with her talent because she never dealt with the trauma behind that. Listen, I've been a big girl most of my life, okay? So I speak from experience. You can lose the weight, and yes, you feel better aesthetically, but I don't know her experiences. See, I'm sure that she's dealing with a lot of experiences from being on a national stage and having to deal with being the big girl, being the fat girl, being the dark-skinned girl, being the ugly girl. Like, listen, they used to dog Xscape out as a group. As a group, they dogged Xscape out. Look at Tiny. Look at all the things that Tiny has done to herself, done to her body. Tiny's cute. And look at all the stuff she's done. So they, as a group, dealt with a lot of that. And all of them have had surgery. Now, some of them look good, but all of them have had some sort of augmentation done to their body. And that's not a bad thing because, again, a lot of people have, especially nowadays when it's so accessible and there's so many different surgeries you can have. But they've all had something done. But if you go back and listen, I mean, I will never forget Biggie Smalls was probably the most infamous one when he did his song Dreams. He said, I'd rather RuPaul than any of those Xscape bitches. That was a #1 hit. That song played in every club in America over and over and over again. Can you imagine being one of those Xscape members when that song was out? Biggie Smalls said he'd rather have sex with RuPaul than any of y'all. So there's a trauma there that she's not dealing with. Yes, you look better. And don't get me wrong, I think Tasha looks good. But I bet you when she looks in the mirror that she still doesn't see what we see. That's my opinion. And I ain't got no therapy. Listen, I ain't no doctor and I ain't got no therapy chair to put nobody in. But again, I know for me, you know, as a big girl, there are things that you deal with, experiences that you have. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get out of here, you guys. I'll probably be back tomorrow for a tribe meeting. We'll see what people are talking about. And I will talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace.